Captain Ray Carter had protected many VIPs in his military career. Politicians, scientists, peace envoys, he had guarded them all. But when he was called to the high command briefing room on Space Station Orion, he knew this was something different. 2 officers stood beside a tall alien woman dressed in royal blue armor. Her silver crown glowed softly, and her pale skin shimmered under the white lights. She had sharp, elegant features and violet eyes that seemed to look through him. "This is Princess Aelari of the Elvari Empire," said the Admiral. "You are now her personal protector." Ray looked at the princess, confused. "With respect, sir, why me?" "Because she asked for a human." Aelvari stepped forward. Her voice was calm but powerful. "I need someone who is not part of my people. Someone I can trust. Someone without political ties." Ray nodded. "Yes, ma'am." But something in her eyes made him uneasy. There was no fear in her. No sign she needed protection. She looked like someone who was planning something. Later that night, Ray followed her through the ship's halls. The princess didn't speak much. She walked like a queen, calm and confident. Every alien bowed as she passed, but Ray noticed things others didn't. She never stayed in her room. She changed corridors often, and once, she even entered a locked section of the ship alone. He asked, "Are you hiding something, princess?" She turned and smiled. "Everyone is hiding something, Captain." The next morning, the ship alarm rang out an attack had begun. Ray rushed to his post, but when he checked the security feed, he saw something that stopped him cold. The enemy didn't come through the front. They appeared inside the ship, and they didn't attack the crew. They came for her. Ray ran to her quarters and found 2 Elvari guards unconscious on the floor. The door was open. Inside, Princess Aelari stood calm, holding a long crystal blade. Her armor shimmered, untouched. He raised his weapon. "What happened?" She looked at the bodies. "They were not loyal. They were your own men. They were spies," she said, "sent to watch me. Stop me." "Stop you from what?" She stepped closer, her voice low. "From doing what I must." Ray didn't lower his weapon. "What are you planning, princess?" She walked past him, her steps silent. "You were assigned to protect me, not question me. But I saw the way they attacked. They didn't want to hurt you, they wanted to stop you." She turned to face him. Her eyes glowed softly. "That's because they know the truth." Ray stepped back. "What truth?" She leaned in close. "That I'm not here for safety. I'm here to change the balance of power." He didn't understand. "You mean peace?" "I mean control," she said. Alarms blared again. More reports of INFILTRATIONS. Ray didn't know who to trust now. His own command or the alien princes he was sworn to protect. But one thing was clear. This wasn't just a bodyguard mission anymore. It was the beginning of something much bigger. And she had very different plans. Captain Ray Carter stayed silent as he followed Princess Aelari through the dim hallway. Emergency lights flashed red on the metal walls. Sirens echoed through the ship. Crew members rushed in every direction, but no one stopped her. She moved like a queen through chaos. Ray spoke quietly. "Princess, I need the truth now. Who are you really, and what are you doing here?" She stopped and turned. "You're not just a guard, are you, Captain?" "I'm here to keep you alive," he replied. "But I need to know what you're hiding." She stepped closer, her eyes glowing. "Violet, I am the next ruler of the Elvari Empire. But my father does not want peace. He wants control over the human systems. That's why he sent me here, to delay talks, to spy, to prepare for war." Ray stared at her. "So why are you telling me this now?" "Because I don't want that war," she said. "I want to stop it." He lowered his voice. "Then help me send a message to Earth Command. Let them know the truth." She shook her head. "They won't believe you. They already think the Elvari are peaceful." "That's the lie. My father's agents are everywhere. Even inside your own ranks. Ray's mind raced. If she was telling the truth, then the mission was already compromised from the start. More explosions shook the ship. A guard ran toward them. Princess, we must leave. Your father's fleet is on the way. Ray raised his weapon. He's with your father? The guard looked confused. No, I'm with her. Aelari nodded. He's loyal to me. To peace. Ray stepped back. How many people are on your side? Too few, she said. But enough to escape. Escape? Ray asked. To where? She looked him in the eyes. To Earth. I want to speak before your Senate. I want to expose everything, but I need someone they trust. Ray's jaw tightened. Me. You, she confirmed before he could answer. A massive explosion rocked the hallway. A fireball burst through the wall behind them, sending smoke and sparks flying. Ray grabbed her arm. We have to move. They ran down a side tunnel as part of the ceiling collapsed behind them. Ray shouted, "Where's the nearest launch pod?" The guard answered, "Level 3 emergency dock." The three of them moved fast. Ray kept his weapon ready, checking corners. As they reached the door to the dock, he stopped and looked at her. "If I go with you, there's no turning back. My command will call me a traitor." Aelari looked at him, calm and sure. "Then be a traitor to war." Ray paused, then nodded. "Let's go." They entered the dock, but several Elvari soldiers stood waiting. Their weapons were drawn. The princess stepped forward. "Stand down. That's an order." One of the soldiers answered, "We only follow the Emperor now." They raised their rifles. Ray stepped in front of her and fired. The fight had begun. Blaster shots flew across the docking bay. Sparks exploded from the walls. Ray ducked behind a supply crate and returned fire. The loyalist Elvari soldiers were skilled, fast, and heavily armed. But Ray had trained for years in close combat. And now he wasn't just protecting a VIP, he was defending the only person who could stop a war. Behind him, Princess Aelari crouched low, her crystal blade drawn. She wasn't afraid. In fact, her hands were steady, her eyes sharp. Ray could tell she'd been in real danger before Ray shouted, "We need to reach that pod, go now." Aelari nodded and dashed forward. The loyal Elvari guard with them covered her while Ray moved to flank the attackers. One soldier fired toward Aelari, but her guard jumped in front and took the blast. He fell to the ground with a groan. "No!" Elvari cried. Ray charged forward and knocked down the last enemy soldier with a hard punch, then fired one clean shot. Silence filled the room. Ray helped Aelari to the pod. She looked down at her injured guard. He smiled weakly. "Your people will remember you." "I will not forget you," she whispered. Ray started the pod's engines. "We need to launch now. Earth Command will scramble interceptors the moment they see an unauthorized Elvari ship." "They won't shoot," she said calmly. "Not when I speak." "But they don't know you," Ray replied. "Then they'll know me soon." The pod lifted from the bay. As they flew into space, Ray looked through the rear window. The ship they left behind was burning, spinning slowly in orbit. The fleet would arrive soon. And when they did, there'd be no turning back. Aelari sat beside him. "I'm not going to Earth to beg. I'm going to reveal the truth." "Do you think they'll listen?" Ray asked. "They must," she answered, "or everything burns." Meanwhile on Earth, General Marlowe watched the approaching signal. On the main command screen, an officer said, "Unauthorized pod entering restricted airspace. No ID code. Looks Elvari. Intercept and hold," the general ordered. "I want to know who's inside." Ray's voice came through the system. "This is Captain Ray Carter. Request emergency landing. I'm escorting Princess Aelari of the Elvari Empire. She carries vital intel. Do not engage." The command room fell silent. The general frowned. "Ray Carter is Mie. If that's really him, we need to see this with our own eyes. Back in the pod, Aelari touched the window. We're here. This is where it all changes. Ray looked at her. Are you ready to show them who you really are? She turned to him, serious but calm. I never came here for protection. I came to change fate, and you were not just my guard. You were my witness. The pod descended through the clouds. Earth waited below. And soon, so would the truth. The landing pad at Earth Command Headquarters was silent. Soldiers stood in a line, weapons ready. Officers whispered as the Elvari escape pod touched down. No one knew what to expect. Elvari ships weren't allowed this deep into Earth's territory, especially not without warning. General Marlowe stepped forward, his eyes sharp. Open it. The pod door hissed. Captain Ray Carter stepped out first, hands raised. I'm not here to fight. Behind him, Princess Aelari walked calmly onto the platform. She wore a dark silver cloak now, hiding her armor. Her eyes scanned the soldiers, not with fear, but with quiet strength. Gasps spread through the crowd. One officer muttered, "That's her. That's the princess." General Marlowe stepped closer. "Carter, you disappeared during a classified mission. Now, you return with an alien air. Explain yourself." Ray didn't blink. She's not the enemy. She's the reason war hasn't started already. And she's come to tell the truth. The general looked at Aelari. You have 5 minutes. Inside the main chamber, leaders from all major Earth colonies watched via live broadcast. The room was tense. Aelari stood in front of the council, no speech. No guards, just her voice. My name is Elvari of the Elvari royal bloodline. My father, the Emperor, sent me to your system not for peace, but to prepare for conquest. But I came to stop him, and I brought evidence. She placed a small glowing cube on the table. It projected images, secret Elvari plans, troop positions, hidden weapon labs on neutral moons. Shock spread through the council. One leader asked, "Why would you betray your own people?" Aelari answered without hesitation. Because they betrayed peace. They betrayed the promise of alliance. They used words as lies. Just then, the main lights flickered. Ray turned fast. Something's wrong. A security officer ran in. We've been breached. Internal system someone's trying to shut down the broadcast. Ray grabbed his cum. It's the Empire. They knew she'd speak. Backstage, 2 unknown men in officer uniforms moved through the wires, placing a jammer device. Ray ran after them. Stop! The men turned and drew energy pistols. Ray ducked, rolled, and fired one clean shot. One attacker fell. The second reached for the broadcast cables, but Aelari appeared behind him. She didn't shout. She didn't strike. She simply spoke. Do not silence me. The attacker froze, looked at her face, and then dropped his weapon. Security rushed in and detained them. The council room was still. Then the general stood. Let her continue. Aelari faced the camera again. I believed my mission was to follow orders, but I changed. Because I met someone who didn't just protect me, he listened to me. He showed me that the future doesn't belong to weapons. It belongs to truth. Ray watched her, speechless. A wave of silence spread across every screen, then applause. Across EarthNet, people were already sharing her message. But high above the planet, the Elvari Emperor received the signal. He turned to his officers. Prepare the fleet. The sky over Earth was clear, but the space above it was not. Dozens of Elvari warships had entered the outer edge of the system. Their weapons were hot, shields active. No warning, no message, just silent pressure. In the Earth Command Center, red lights flashed across every screen. Officers spoke quickly. Elvari fleet confirmed. Largest movement since the Treaty of Erin. General Marlowe stood at the front, face tense. Have they sent a message? No, sir, said the technician. They're waiting. Princess Aelari stood beside Rey. She had changed her cloak for her battle armor again, dark, elegant, glowing softly with royal energy. But her eyes held no desire for war. They're waiting for me, she said. My father is giving me one last chance to step back. Rey looked at her. Will you? She turned to him, calm and proud. No, they might fire. Then we speak first. A secure channel was opened. The screen lit up with the image of Emperor Virion, her father. His face was stern, cold, and commanding. His voice filled the room. Daughter, you were sent to observe, not to expose our empire. Return now, and this will end. Aelari didn't blink. You lied to the galaxy. I won't help you anymore. You speak like a child. I speak like a leader, she said. Virion's voice dropped lower. You stand beside a human, a weak protector, and you believe they'll save you? Rey stepped forward. She doesn't need saving. She's saving us. The Emperor paused, then gave a cold smile. Then you both die together. The call ended. The fleet moved forward. Rey turned to the general. What's our plan? General Marlowe replied. If they cross the defense line, we fire. Aelari stepped in. No. Let me go up there, Rey frowned. Alone? Yes, she said. Let me face him one last time. If I can speak to him in person, I might still change his mind. Marlowe crossed his arms. And if you fail? She looked straight at him. Then fire, but not before I try. Rey stepped forward. Then I'm going with you. Aelari turned, surprised. You've done enough. I was assigned to protect you, he said softly. And I still believe in you. Together they boarded a diplomatic shuttle. The world watched as it rose from Earth, small and bright against the black sky, heading straight toward the Emperor's massive flagship. Inside the shuttle, Aelari sat in silence. Rey watched her closely. You're not afraid? I am, she whispered. But fear means you still have something to lose. Rey nodded. Then let's not lose it. As the shuttle approached the Elvari command ship, thousands of guns tracked it, but none fired. A single message appeared on the screen. Docking granted. The final meeting was about to begin. One princess, one father. One chance to stop a galactic war. Asterisk. The Elvari command ship was silent inside. No guards. No welcome. Only a long hallway of glass and gold, lit by soft blue lights. At the far end stood Emperor Virion, waiting on a raised platform beneath a glowing symbol of the Elvari throne. Princess Aelari walked slowly, head held high. Rey walked behind her, alert, ready but also calm. This moment was not his to lead. The Emperor's voice echoed through the chamber. You are no longer welcome among your people. Aelari stood before him. I don't care about welcome, I care about truth. You chose them, Virion said coldly, over your own blood. I chose peace. He stepped closer. Peace is weakness. The galaxy is won by control. She looked into his eyes. Then maybe the galaxy needs a new kind of power. He stared at her for a long time. You disappoint me. I was never made to please you. Rey watched in silence. She didn't tremble. She didn't lower her voice. She stood tall like a queen, not a daughter. Virion raised a hand. This is your last chance. Return. Deny your words. Blame the human, and I will forgive you. She took a deep breath. Then slowly, she removed her crown and placed it at his feet. I don't need your throne, she said, because I already have their respect. She turned and walked away. Rey followed without a word. The Emperor didn't stop her. As they reached the shuttle, Aelari whispered, he won't change. No, Rey said, but you already did. The shuttle left the ship. No missiles followed. No ships moved. The Elvari fleet remained still, watching. Back on Earth, people cheered as the shuttle landed. Aelari stepped out not as a princess, but As a voice of peace, later, she stood before the United Human Alliance. She told them the truth again. And this time, they listened. The Elvari Empire did not attack, because its people seeing her broadcast, hearing her words began to question everything. Some rebelled. Others refused orders. Quietly, the Emperor's control faded. Months later, a new Elvari Council formed, one that voted for peace. Ray remained by her side, not as her guard anymore, but as her friend. And maybe something more. One night under the stars of New Earth, she looked at him and smiled. "You were sent to protect me," she said. "But I think I protected something in you too." He smiled back. "You did. You reminded me what real strength looks like." And together, they watched a galaxy healing, not because of weapons or orders, but because one princess had very different plans. Plans that changed everything.